Okay, so I'm actually in an airport right now, and I'm to go back to China. It's theme week here on Unironic Enthusiasm, and I was thinking, what does China, YouTube, and Unironic Enthusiasm have in common, and what kind of story I could offer this channel? I thought Veritasium was the perfect thing that combines everything together. More specifically, how I essentially got to start managing all these Chinese Veritasium social platform sites. And I guess it's also just like kind of to get you guys to go out there. I know not everyone is as lucky as I am, but go out there, see what happens. So it actually started really simply with me following Derek on Twitter. We had interactions on Twitter. He liked my tweets, etc. He replied to my tweets. He's like actually one of the more interactive YouTubers, if you ask me. So I was like, oh my god, he notices me, etc. etc. And then I took a class on YouTube, and for my final paper, I actually wrote about Derek and Veritasium and how he essentially used what he did in his PhD on into YouTube. And the professor liked it, and so my professor actually reached out to him for me, and that break after the semester, I Skyped him, which was really historical. We talked for like 1 hour ish, and then I thought that was the end of that, right? But then Snadams came. Oh, okay. Even during the Skype, I was like, hey, like, are you interested in expanding into China? And like, if you are, would you mind if I started like a Veritasium Youku account just to upload videos as you upload them? And he was like, yeah, that sounds good. And I do have legal permission, not legal permission, but I do have written permission in the emails, that I could pull out and be like, hey, he okayed this. And actually, some of the people I'm working with have signed contracts with him. So to put the legalities out there, he knows all about this stuff. He's okay with it. Yeah. So I Skyped him, and he was like, yeah, I'm okay with this. And so I started putting out YouTube videos, right? And that was essentially the end of that. And then I met him over like the following break when I joined this channel, and like we talked a little bit about Yuku and stuff, but that was like the end of that. Well, 1 year later, roughly, maybe it was 2 years later, I don't even know. Like this past March, somebody in China actually reached out to me through like one of Veritasium's multiple social media outlets that I set up for him, and was like, hey, are you interested in starting something official on this Chinese video sharing platform called Bilibili, which a lot of people watched. And I'm assuming it's a he, has built, and he's like essentially built this huge following for the science YouTubers in China. And he was like, oh yeah, if you get Derek's permission, we could really help promote his channel and translate everything, etc., etc. And I was like, yeah, I'll email him. And I got his permission. I think the person that reached out to me tried emailing Derek, and Derek never responded. But I emailed him. I emailed Derek, and then Derek immediately was like, "Oh yeah, sure, I'm into this." And then he actually forwarded me the original email he got. Derek forwarded me the original email he got, which is just hilarious. So he's clearly seen it, but he just didn't reply. And so now we've built this huge following, and then the science communication, like there's something to do with the Chinese government, but like a science communication site of the Chinese government reached out, and then some other people reached out and was like, hey, we can provide Derek money. And it's kind of a mess right now, I'm not gonna lie. Like, one of my goals when I get back to China actually is to sort this out in the next like 2.5-ish weeks that I get. Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good story. It's a story in progress still, which is, for me at least, it's a really good thing. It's really exciting, and it takes my mind off schoolwork. For me, it's a really good stress relief, and I think people like it. I'm honestly not doing a lot. I feel like my main role here is the person that has gotten Derek's trust. I think like everyone that's involved in this is pretty trustworthy. And I genuinely like the community, I guess, that we've built up. I've been talking for 7 minutes. I'll edit this down and upload it to YouTube. See you all in China next week.